Okay, so sorry I haven't uploaded. I'm gonna probably stream this weekend, either Friday or Saturday. If not then, Sunday. I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing this weekend, so sorry I can't give a specific date, but just expect a random stream to go up. So if you want to keep the YouTube open because you want to watch, then feel free. But I wanted to show briefly what's in the early access and kind of give a rough tour. So we got two new champions, two new auras, two poses, two explosions, finishers, swords, skins. There's three new packs. A lot. There's a lot of microtransactions. Three characters got Evo abilities. Ranked. There's new. There's new game mode. Two new maps. Contracts is basically just one-time gems that you get. They have daily quests and weekly quests. The champion system is basically you can level it to 150 and then use evos. Sword grading, they didn't do amulets like they were supposed to. We voted on amulets and they didn't go through with it, which dumb, but I don't know why they made that a vote if we're not going to do it, but it is what it is. Dual wield, you have to kill one sword and add it to the other sword. The benefit is you can do something like dual wield Champ and Aegis. You'd have Champ put in as your first sword, and then you'd put Aegis in as the second. It'll delete the Aegis, add the Aegis to the Champ, and if you ever clean off the Champ, it'll delete the Aegis entirely. You don't get it back, from what I know. That might be changed later. I don't know. They've also added two new currencies, which again, all of this I'm going to have to go into more depth. This is a ton of stuff. I'll make dedicated videos as I'm able to. I'm just going to give a general idea of what to expect with this video. But yeah, I'm just going to start back here. Got ranked. So you got the new weapons, you got a secret. And then these honestly don't look that great. This is like bad Golden Dominion, really bad reskins. I don't like this, but it's okay. I like the UI they did here though. So pretty nice. As far as AFK was neutered, I'll get into that in a different video. Trading, pro, um, there's server select contracts. All the champions are here. The Evo system when you unlock it. They have a new leaderboard, so you have default leaderboard now. Also, they all get rewards. So if you want these titles, then feel free. These are dual wields. This is instant dual wield, luck, premium raid tokens, crystals. Premium raid tokens won't be used until you kill the boss. Normal raid tokens will just get used. So typically, premium you do on a higher difficulty, and normal you would do on a lower difficulty, just to make sure you can do it. And again, two new champs. You got Gloom, which is the shadow one that was in test footage ages ago, and then Denjin is kind of like a cyberpunk one. He wasn't in test footage as far as I saw. What else do I need to show? This I need to show. So this has a rotating discount. Typically, also you can buy unlimited amounts of everything. And there's a conversion. Let me see where it is. Okay, so you can convert crystals into crimson orbs. I've just been calling these flesh orbs just because it's funny to me. But yeah, I would recommend using the rotating discount just because you can get extra stuff. And then we're gonna go quickly into packs. Uh, got the secret. You get all four of these and you craft it. The mythic, the godlies. This legendary is actually cool for legendary. It looks very nice, which is very surprising to say, but I actually like the legendary better than the godlies and the mythic. So it's just personal preference. Standard. So this is essentially light pack. This is what you'd expect out of the free pack. It's using the free currency. It's not that great. Whirlwind was buffed. Pink Pearl was buffed. Eyesight was buffed. So they're all mythics now. No idea if they have poses. Side note: S War and S Wrath do not have poses. And in the shop over here, this is the Rainbow S grade pose, and this is the Dahlia pose. But they aren't being added to the weapons, I believe. I think you have to buy them. So every time this refreshes, it'll have different focused items. The focused item gets a higher rate, so there's a 50% chance it'll be the focused mythic, and then the rest of the mythics take the rest of their percentage. So, not great, but it is what it is. You can get increased shiny chance, get cheaper summons from VIP. I'll make dedicated videos on how to efficiently pack summon and all that stuff later, but it is what it is. They added skins, which is kind of like a second layer of auras. So if you like that stuff, great, it exists. If you don't, well, too bad. For the paid pack, it's a little bit strange because these are all the expensive mythics. Olympus Edge was promoted to a mythic, and then Spirit Scythe is in the same pack as Enigma and Divine Shadow. I think this is stupid, just being straight up. No one wants to get a Spirit Scythe when they're trying to roll on Divine. So, I don't know. I think Spirit Scythe should have been in Standard. That's like, if Tri-Heat's considered trash, then Spirit Scythe is like Gutterville. So, I don't know. It's not the greatest. I'll get into more depth with this, but it's very expensive. The prices for these are just absurd, in my opinion. Now, this I think it's a little bit cheaper than the packs of old, but you can't focus a mythic and guarantee you get a mythic that you want. You get a guaranteed mythic, but there's no pity system for getting the mythic that's focused that I know of. So until that's added, this is a big downgrade and this is very expensive. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're filthy rich and you have hundreds of dollars to drop. Sure, go for it. You want to throw money away, but I wouldn't recommend this. If you're at all a reasonable player, this is not going to be something that most of us can afford to at least buy regularly. You might be able to buy a little bit of it, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then going over to the battle pass, I don't know technically if this is worth it. All of the crimson orbs are basically in the bottom. You get a shiny Lumina, you get a shiny Cyber Hammer. So if you want those, I think they're exclusive to the pack for now. The champions you can get from the free side. There's, I think, some emotes. There's an emote and a spray. Yeah. The car emote subshowed is exclusive to the battle pass. And then if you want an Uno spray, Uno reverse spray, then you have to pay for it. If you like that, great. If you don't, it's kind of what we're stuck with. The quests are kind of basic. It's kind of nice because it switches things up, but crystals and all that aren't great. I'll get into it in more depth when I make more trading focused videos, but for now, not a huge fan. Like, I see the idea, it's more for retention and getting people to play actively, but saying like gifting an item every day is not great. Um, I'll cover trading next, just for all of you that care about trading. Also, pro is the same. They killed One Life though, so if you enjoy One Life that doesn't exist anymore, I doubt they're re-adding it back because people used it for kill farming. And again, for dual wield, you have to put a main sword in, sacrifice sword, and then you have to select, I think, one of the books. So, thing. If you want to take your pose off of your S grade, so like S Divine, you can take the pose off of S Divine. You can put it on default katana, or maybe not default katana. You can put it on other items. So someone took their S Divine pose off and put it on Aegis. You can put the little S Rainbow pose on Champ Scythe. So it's all an option. For the grading, I'll explain this in more depth, but essentially, you put one in that will never be lost, and then you put another one in. If this burns, I put two in. I'll get the first one back. The second one burns. So if you're doing one by one gambling to A grades are cheaper. A plus, you can no longer gamble one A plus to S. You're gonna need two A pluses. So the value of A plus and A dies with this. If you had an S or an A plus or an A grade, probably getting downgraded in value. Also, as far as trading goes, I wouldn't recommend trading until values even out, because wrap values are going to be a mess because no one knows how to price anything. Shiny items are going to be undecided. The new secret's going to be undecided. S grades are probably going to get reevaluated if people care. So keep that in mind. But all that's changing. Another sad thing is you can no longer get outside the map with the glitch where you go here and then do this. It doesn't work anymore. I know you generally take off the pose, but it doesn't work. So big downgrade to traders. A lot of us used to enjoy jumping out of the map to talk or chill with friends. Now we can't do that. So kind of unfortunate. But going back to main lobby, I'm going to show boss, and then that's it for today. I like what they did with boss and main lobby, but trading's iffy. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of undecided on whether people are gonna hate this update or love it, because there's a lot of things that I can see throwing people off of it. So again, you have different types of tickets. I'm just gonna put the raid ticket in to show. You'd select which boss you want. Let's just say you want Cursed Spirit. As a side note, Extreme is the hunt boss. For anyone that was around when that event was playing, Extreme mode is just the hunt boss. It's actually really easy. Now, if you're a new player, it's not really easy, but if you're an older player like me and you play through the hunt, it's easy. You'll be fine. If you can solo Spirit and you can get to the last phase of mech consistently, or relatively consistently, you'll be fine in this. It might take a little bit of learning, but you'll be good. The revive system is also a big boost. There's a revive system where essentially you have to stand on top of someone and then hold E and then you're covered. But yeah, you can pick whatever you want as far as that goes. They also have premium statue tickets and stuff like that. And you do statue and then pick mode. I will say statue is a lot more difficult, but yeah. There's also contracts. Just hit claim all. If you want to Evo, I believe you have to progress through all of this, so it's a bit of a mess. You also need to get this item, I believe. So just keep that in mind. And then all the maps. There's base plate, beach, castle. Cube League is a new one. Dark Dimension, Ghoul, Mystery. Platforms is really fun, and then Sumo Arena is really fun. That's a new one also. The rest are all old maps though. So that's pretty much it for today. There's not too much else to go over. Oh, I also need to show the store page. But besides that, this is the main store page. So you have the Game Pass, you have VIP, you have all these bundles. I'll be going over all of this. I'll make a dedicated video to the whole store thing. It's going to take a while to cover, but I wanted to show this. Crystals, I feel are very, very overpriced for what they are, so I wouldn't recommend buying this. All these potions, luck is the same as old luck. I have no idea what champion does though. I haven't seen anything on it. Shiny Hunter is basically, if you care about shiny swords, you would buy it, but I've only seen, I think, one shiny sword. Until we know what until we know what shiny Divine Shadow, shiny Enigma looks like, I'm not buying this. Storage is the same, auto enchant same, boost space. Again, these orbs are stupidly overpriced. I don't think they're worth it. Now, I mean, Sub was saying in the EA thing that these are cheaper than rainbow packs, or not rainbow packs, cheaper than old Robux packs, but considering you can't focus what you want, I think these are stupidly overpriced. I probably am never going to buy them. So I think they kind of missed the mark on the whole bringing old packs back, but that's my opinion. This is also a big one. They're massively inflating the gem economy because you can buy 15 mil gems in the 2K Robux bundle. Gems are also impossible to farm. All of the gems in circulation now are pretty much just going to be the gems that we have. I think Sub said there's 4 trillion gems in the whole economy. So I don't know if he's completely right on that or how up to date it is, but that's what he said. And then Gemtoki hasn't been buffed. He still has 1k gems per hunt. So if you're thinking about buying Gemtoki, don't. I'm pretty sure he still costs Robux, so just skip him. He's worthless. You'd be better off probably buying the 5 mil. But yeah, it's not great as far as the monetization goes. This is more of a monetization update than a gameplay update. Getting 2 champions, 3 maps, and 1 boss doesn't add a ton to the game. Like, it's nice that ranked came back, but ranked doesn't really add anything. It's more of just competitively playing the game you're already playing. So I don't know. I think a lot of this should be cheaper. I think a lot of this is overpriced. Same, like, you have scratch offs and stuff just stuck on your screen. So a lot of the EA people want some of this menu clutter dealt with. I'm not a huge fan of these buttons. Battle Pass should probably be like a small button up here, and then these buttons should go away and be part of the store button right here, because they have no business being on the screen. It makes it feel like a mobile game or a slot machine. I don't like it. Side note, they did also change some of this up here. So, you know, this menu is a little bit different, and that's kind of it. And then they've got a bunch of items. I'll go into all this in more depth, but it's essentially everything. The index is also a lot bigger because of all the shiny items, so it's a bit inflated. I think they also added skins in here, so just keep in mind the number of discovered things is way higher than it should be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll be trying to stream at some point this weekend. If I don't stream, I'll at least make some videos. So we'll see. I'm not going to be rushing out the trading content because I don't want to get it wrong early. But essentially, we'll see. But have a good one.